Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay Z is setting Diddy up because he's the acceptable monster at this time.
Who's Sean Carter?
I would just say that's the center. That's the center, and actually the business man. That's what they call me when they want to talk business.
Jaguar Wright is back in the spotlight with a bang. In a recent explosive interview, she dropped some bombshell revelations about Jay Z's alleged involvement in Diddy's recent misfortunes. So, what exactly did she say?
I can't wait. I can't wait for everybody to find out what's really been going on in the background.
In a recent interview, Jaguar made bold accusations, suggesting that Jay Z orchestrated the downfall of Diddy. These claims have sparked intense debate and speculation within the music industry. Jaguar, known for her candid commentary, did not mince her words as she delved into the alleged manipulation and exploitation within the music business. During the interview, Jaguar raised crucial questions, probing the timing and motives behind Diddy's current predicament.
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time.
During her candid conversation, Wright drew parallels to the handling of controversial figures in the industry, drawing comparisons to R. Kelly's downfall and hinting at an alleged pattern orchestrated by Jay Z. And when asked about who might be next in line within this purported series of orchestrated events, Wright pointedly mentioned Sean "Diddy" Combs, suggesting that Jay Z was setting him up for a fall.
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay Z is setting Diddy up.
Wright went on to detail a sequence of alleged manipulations by Jay Z, referencing past associates and collaborators. According to her claims, Jay Z had lined up figures like Damon Dash and the late Notorious Big, supposedly stealing their life and identity. These accusations bring forth a complex narrative of betrayal and power dynamics within the music industry's upper echelons. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Beigel, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life identity, and took his love, Wright stated, painting a picture of calculated actions against key figures in rap history. The most shocking assertion made by Wright was her insinuation that Jay Z's intentions extended to R. Kelly, another embattled figure in the music industry. He wants to be the one, she claimed, hinting at Jay Z's alleged desire for dominance or control within the narrative of these high-profile incidents. So, is there any truth to what Jaguar is claiming? Well, let's start with the case of R. Kelly. One person who was allegedly sold out by Jay Z was convicted singer R. Kelly. For context, in the wake of his sentencing to 30 years in prison for ST and racketeering, the disgraced singer recently filed an appeal in his New York federal crimes case. Documents obtained by TMZ revealed that the 56-year-old artist had put forth multiple arguments in his bid to overturn his conviction, ranging from assertions of a potentially biased jury to claims of being misled about the ages of the minors he had relationships with. The appeal, filed by his attorney Jennifer Bonjon, sought to have the convictions reversed or to secure a new trial. Kelly's legal team contended that the government had failed to meet its burden of proof during the trial, despite the jury finding him guilty on all counts following nearly 6 weeks of proceedings. A key point in Kelly's appeal was the allegation that at least 2 jurors had watched Surviving R. Kelly, a documentary released in 2019 which featured accounts from his accusers. His lawyers argued that this documentary, funded by Jay Z and allegedly provided to the jurors, could have biased their judgment, especially given Kelly's legal history with Jay Z. Moreover, Kelly disputed the ages of the girls involved, claiming that some were at least 18 years old when their interactions with him began. His legal team asserted that in cases where the girls were minors, Kelly had been misled about their ages. Kelly's defense also contested the admissibility of certain evidence presented during the trial, arguing that irrelevant details about his personal life unfairly influenced the jury. They maintained that discussions about his sexual history, preferences, and past relationships were prejudicial and unrelated to the charges he faced. Additionally, Kelly raised objections to the testimony provided by his former associates, alleging that they had misrepresented facts and testified on matters beyond their knowledge. Now, selling out people is not something that is new to Jay Z. In fact, he even betrayed his best friend DeHaven Irby back in the day. In fact, DeHaven was so scarred by the betrayal that he warned all of Jay's closest pals to be on the lookout.
Easy for Jay to turn his back on me. You think Dame stood a chance? You think Jazzo stood a chance? You think Source Money stood a chance? You think all the rest of them, you think they stood a chance?
In a 2007 interview with Vulture, Irby revealed that much of the life Jay Z rapped about, he didn't actually live. He insinuated that the Brooklyn rapper was a low-level dealer and nothing like the kingpin Jigga portrayed himself to be. I'm telling you, he over-exaggerates. He was there to see things, but doing some big-time Frank Lucas type thing? No, Irby explained. He nickeled and dimed, but nothing on a major scale. He definitely didn't sell nothing in Marcy. Spanish Jose, who he mentions a lot in his songs, was a friend of mine. Jay didn't have no affiliation to Spanish Jose. The former nose candy dealer even alluded to Jay Z admitting that he appropriated Irby's life. He's been talking about me since day one on a lot of his albums. He mentioned me on the Black album, and I hadn't seen him in years. D-Haven Irby has been a public critic of his former best friend Jay Z for years. When he was released from prison, he sounded off in a series of YouTube videos about how Jay had abandoned him in 1998 when he was hit with federal drug conspiracy charges. Last year, Irby accused the first hip-hop artist to become a billionaire of working with the feds. People should know that some hip-hop artists have beaten federal cases by becoming government informants, Irby said. As far as the affiliation with him, Jay Z dealing with government informants, that's no secret at all. Do I think it's crazy that nobody brings that subject up? Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, of course they affiliating with them people, Irby said during an interview on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. The more I look at it and the more I understand it more and more, that's why I'm not a part of that. It seems to be clearer and clearer each time. It would have been impossible for Jay Z to avoid doing prison time if he wasn't working with the feds, Irby said. It's just impossible for me to understand how they don't have Jay and they got all these conversations with him. It just don't make sense. It'll never make sense to me. Irby added that Roc Nation's willingness to hire Desiree Perez as chief operating officer in 2008 and promote her to CEO in 2019, despite knowing she was a government informant in the 1990s, is further proof that the revered hip-hop company is in bed with the U.S. government. What else he gon' do? When you working with them, what else you gon' do? She gon' be around. That's what's just like suspicious to me. Homegirl got a strong position in there, and it's crazy that you know her background and you know what we stand for. So it's just self-explanatory. You gotta be working with them, Irby continued. Far as I'm concerned, Roc Nation is run by the government. Irby went on to say, I'll call a spade all day. At the end of the day, there's no way possible you can sit and tell me on my case that they ain't got no conversations with Jay Heavy at all. It don't make no sense. At some point, they got a hold of him and he's been working ever since. Anyway, another person who was allegedly betrayed by Jay Z is Dame Dash. Dame Dash and Jay Z seemed like a match made in hip-hop heaven. It all started with a chance introduction. DJ Clark Kent, a friend of both Jay Z and Dame Dash, played a pivotal role in bringing them together. He saw potential in the budding rapper and saw a spark between him and Dame. Dame Dash, already managing a group called Original Flavor, immediately clicked with Jay Z over their shared passion for sneakers. It wasn't long before they were inseparable, their friendship solidified by their mutual love for music and ambition. Their journey wasn't an overnight success. Before they could conquer the music industry, they hustled on the streets of New York, selling Jay Z's records out of car trunks and barbershops. It was a grassroots effort, fueled by their determination to make it big. Jay Z even made a cameo in one of Original Flavor's music videos, showcasing his raw talent and magnetic presence. Their big break came with Jay Z's first single, In My Lifetime. Despite initial setbacks with a failed record deal, they refused to be deterred. Instead, they doubled down on their efforts, leveraging their connections and street smarts to navigate the industry's challenges. Their perseverance paid off when they secured a distribution deal with Freeze Records and Priority, setting the stage for the launch of Roc-A-Fella Records. The name Roc-A-Fella wasn't just a nod to wealth, it was a symbol of their journey from the streets to the boardroom. Inspired by John D. Rockefeller, the world's first billionaire, it embodied their aspirations for success. But it also carried a deeper meaning, referencing Jay Z's past and the harsh realities of New York's drug laws. Contrary to popular belief, Roc-A-Fella wasn't built on drug money. It was a legitimate enterprise from day one, funded by the proceeds from their early music ventures. With their newfound independence, Jay Z and Dame Dash set out to disrupt the music industry, forging their path to success on their terms. Their partnership with Def Jam Records was a game changer. Instead of signing a traditional deal, they negotiated a unique arrangement that gave them unprecedented control over their music. By selling a stake in Roc-A-Fella to Universal for $1.5 million, they retained ownership of their masters and secured a favorable split on royalties. This strategic move proved to be a masterstroke, propelling Roc-A-Fella to new heights of success. Jay-Z's albums from Reasonable Doubt to Vol. 2, Hard Knock Life dominated the charts, earning critical acclaim and commercial success. Hits like Big Pimpin' and Hard Knock Life, Ghetto Anthem, solidified his status as a rap icon, leaving an indelible mark on the 90s music scene. Between 2002 and 2004, Damon Dash went on a tier starting companies, signing new artists and generally living the life of a super successful hip-hop mogul. He had amassed an army of mega-talented future stars like Kanye West, Cameron, and Beanie Siegel. Roc-A-Fella had survived the 9/11 attacks, which happened the same day Jay's album The Blueprint debuted, Jay-Z's arrest on assault charges, and the tragic death of Dash's girlfriend Aaliyah. Roc-A-Wear had expanded to 5 different clothing and shoe lines and was bringing in $350 to $450 million per year in annual sales. Damon was even producing movies like the critically acclaimed Kevin Bacon film The Woodsman. Fittingly, Dash lived a very opulent life that reportedly included butlers, private chefs, bodyguards, a mansion in Beverly Hills, a Tribeca loft, a $35,000 per month London apartment, and a $400,000 Maybach. Dash was also famous for only wearing his shoes, socks, jeans, and shirts once, before tossing them away. Unfortunately, all was not well with the one person who mattered most. Damon's most talented artist and business partner, Jay Z. Jay had increasingly grown tired of Damon's ever-growing ego and paranoia. The employees at Roc-A-Fella, Def Jam, and Roc-A-Wear were terrified of Damon's never-ending temper tantrums over the smallest of issues. He fired dozens of talented executives and burned bridges left and right. For his part, Damon began to resent Jay's increasing distance from their company and new alliance with Def Jam honcho Liar Cohen. Rumors flew throughout 2002 and 2004 that Damon and Jay were breaking up and no longer speaking. Tensions came to a head after Jay-Z and Kareem Burke refused to allow Damon to spend $3 million on a single print ad campaign for Armadale Vodka featuring Kevin Bacon and Naomi Campbell. From that point on, Jay and Damon really were not speaking anymore. Damon was also being excluded from many high-profile meetings at Def Jam regarding his own artists. The writing was on the wall. On December 24, 2004, Jay-Z asked his old friend Damon Dash to meet him at an Italian restaurant in Manhattan called Da Silvano. Prior to this meeting, the 3 Roc-A-Fella founders had already agreed to sell their label to Def Jam for $10 million. But Dash was shocked by another piece of the deal that he did not see coming. Each partner would take home $3 million, but only Jay would be promoted to be the president of Def Jam. Even worse, Jay refused to allow Dash to keep the Roc-A-Fella name. The final blow occurred when all of Roc-A-Fella's artists were offered the option to stay with Jay at Def Jam or go with Damon to a new label of his own forming. Most artists, including future superstar Kanye West, chose to stay with Jay. The few artists who went with Dash to his new label saw their albums bomb on the charts, and the new record label venture quickly imploded. On the other hand, Damon and Jay were still connected via Roc-A-Wear. They each still owned 25% of the company. After the Kevin Bacon-Naomi Campbell fiasco, Dash was invited to a meeting at an upscale hotel room in New York. When he asked why they were meeting at a hotel room instead of the Roc-A-Wear offices, the partners replied, "So no one will hear you scream." By the end of the meeting, Dash was expelled from the company with a $22 million buyout that reportedly only resulted in $7 million in cash. Between 2004 and 2009, Damon launched and shuttered a string of failed ventures. His new record company, Roc-La Familia, folded, as did clothing line The Damon Dash Collection. Shockingly, by April 2009, Damon Dash, who at his peak had an estimated personal net worth of $50 million, was flat broke. Anyway, if you find it hard to believe anything that Jaguar Wright has been claiming, please keep this in mind. Jaguar isn't just some random gossip monger. She was actually there behind the scenes with Jay when he was hustling in the music business. She even worked for him as a background singer, appearing in that infamous 2001 MTV Unplugged live album. And get this, Jaguar reportedly dated none other than Big L, the Harlem legend who initially signed to Columbia Records but got dropped in '96. Rumor has it Big L caught the eye of Dame Dash, a Roc-A-Fella co-founder, and talks were underway about a potential group deal. But then tragedy struck. Big L was gunned down in Harlem, and his unalivement remains unsolved. According to Jaguar, Big L's death was just the beginning of a string of mysterious incidents that paved Jay Z's way to the top. Big L met his demise in a drive-by shooting on February 15, 1999. He was shot 9 times, 5 in the chest and 4 in the face. The police named a few people as suspects, but ultimately landed on Gerard Woodley, Big L's childhood friend, as the main suspect. He was arrested 3 months after the shooting, but was released for lack of evidence. However, Jaguar Wright claims that Jay Z was involved in Big L's demise because he was his chief rival in rap music.
Jay Z was the last person to see Big L alive.
She alleged that the Harlem native was making more waves in New York and had a brighter future than Jay Z. Thus, the encore rapper allegedly thought it expedient to sacrifice him. Her rants revealed that Jay Z was part of an Illuminati sect and that Big L's sacrifice was to pave the way for his success, which came once the 2000s rolled in. So it won't be surprising if Jaguar Wright drags Jay Z into Diddy's current mess. Though nothing has been confirmed, word on the street suggests that Wright thinks Jay Z should be investigated too. Having accused the Empire State of Mind of eliminating Big L, she's convinced that he has a hand in Diddy's alleged crimes. According to her, Jay Z and Diddy followed the same path to success by sacrificing other rappers, leading her to speculate they're both part of the Illuminati. If that's the case, it's not a stretch to assume Jay Z's involvement in Diddy's shady dealings. Now, Jaguar Wright is no stranger to making bold claims, so it's possible these allegations stem from wishful thinking. But there's also a chance she's onto something. And if Wright's allegations hold any truth, Jay Z's household might be the next target for investigations. Speaking of the raid on Diddy's home, the lawyer for the CEO of Bad Boys Entertainment has criticized the military-style swoop. In an interview with CNN, the lawyer decried the use of excessive force and hostility displayed by the troops deployed to the homes. Yesterday, there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. The federal authorities searched both homes because Diddy was the target of a federal investigation being carried out by a security team from the Department of Homeland Security that deals with crimes related to illegally transporting humans. The probe is being led by the U.S. Attorney for the South District of New York under the auspices of the Department of Homeland Security Investigations Transnational Organized Crime Division. Homeland Security Investigations is the federal body mandated to look into terrorism, narcotics, smuggling, and the illegal transport of humans to and from the country. It is not known what triggered the investigations, but anonymous sources claim it has something to do with the several S.A.R. allegations leveled against Diddy by some women. On the day of the raid, several drone footages showed the authorities combing through several documents on card tables outside Diddy's Miami home, and mobile command post vehicles were seen around the area. The lawyer for Diddy claimed that the embattled music mogul wasn't detained, and neither was any member of his family. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way, Dyer's statement said. This unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced, coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. He also claimed the innocence of his client and expressed his client's willingness to pursue the case to its logical conclusion. There has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. Before the ambush, Diddy and his twin daughters, Delilah and Jessie Combs, were preparing for a spring break trip when all of a sudden state officials and cars surrounded their home. It isn't clear whether Diddy was tipped off, which was why he was preparing to travel, or it was just mere coincidence. It also isn't clear whether the investigative body knew the music mogul was about to go on a vacation, which is why they conducted the raid. Of course, we might never have answers to the questions, but one thing that we can do is to deduce based on what we know about Diddy and law enforcement. Recently, a music producer who worked with the Bad Boy Records founder claimed in a lawsuit against Diddy that the homecoming rapper has links in law enforcement in Miami and LA. The producer, Rodney Jones Jr., claimed that Diddy's links with the police were through his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, who was once the head of security for Michael Jackson. Jones, who filed a $30 million lawsuit against the businessman, revealed an incident where Diddy and his son allegedly shot a man and got law enforcement to sweep it under the carpet. Narrating the incident, Jones claimed that the Diddy and his son, Justin Combs, got into a heated argument with a man named G at Chalice Recording Studio. He didn't detail what caused the argument, but he claimed that the debate went down in the studio's bathrooms, and the shots rang out. When he rushed to the scene, he saw G holding his stomach and bleeding from his hips. Jones then said he helped the man by putting him on the toilet seat while they waited for the ambulance to arrive. Diddy then came up to him and instructed him and the entire studio crew to tell the authorities it was a drive-by incident that took place outside the studios. Official reports from LAPD's investigation revealed that G was shot outside the studio during a robbery. However, Jones also claimed he saw the police spend hours in the studio after the shooting. Rodney Jones said this was the result of Diddy's head of security's close relationship with law enforcement. Jones even mentioned that he knew eyewitnesses who were ready to corroborate his version of events if the court subpoenaed them to appear before it. He also claimed that Diddy threatened him on several occasions, claiming that he would eat his face and eliminate him. He continued that the rap mogul claimed he won't think twice about harming his own mother. Neither would he think twice about eliminating him. According to Jones, the New York native forced him to watch as he displayed his guns and bragged about getting away with shooting people, including in the 1999 New York City nightclub shooting, for which a jury acquitted Diddy of gun possession and bribery charges. However, the most interesting part of Rodney's lawsuit, which many fans suspect could be the basis for the raid on Diddy's home, was when he alleged that Diddy had hours of footage and audio recordings that show Diddy and his cohorts engaging in illegal activity. He claimed the illegal activities were of a serious and grievous nature from September 2022 to November 2023. Interestingly, he added some of the supposed pictures to the lawsuit, and it appeared damning. The pictures showed some ladies dancing with a man thought to be Diddy. The lawsuit insinuated that these ladies were given drinks laced with illicit substances and made to perform unspeakable acts with the music mogul. Jones further alleged that Diddy forced him into sleeping with two S-workers without his knowledge or concern. On how the incident happened, Jones explained that he woke up dizzy, naked, and confused next to two females he didn't know. Thus, he suspected that Diddy might have drugged him and caused the ladies to perform sensual acts on him without his knowledge. As usual, Diddy denied all the allegations Jones leveled against him in the lawsuit. In a statement through his lawyer, the Grammy Award winner stated, "Lil Rod is nothing more than a liar who filed a $30 billion lawsuit shamelessly looking for an undeserved payday. His reckless name-dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen, and is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines. We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones' attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored, as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them." In any case, although Jay Z has not been connected to Diddy's lawsuits, there is speculation that he might soon also face a similar fate to that of Diddy, and many people are eager to watch this unfold. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.